Thanks for staying with us. So our next topic is related to drug abuse. So a Nigerian doctor recently reported a photo that rapper Olamide posted on his page. The Nigerian doctor mentioned that the photo news shows canisters of nitrous oxides close to the bed Olamide sat on, assuming or alleging that the nitrous oxide has been inflated, the gas has been inflated into the balloons, which Olamide was allegedly sniffing. According to his tweet, he said, we just finished a space with NDLEA about people doing balloons. So that's the new thing where they put the gas in balloons and then begin to inhale and blow out. Peep the picture, see canisters of nitrous oxide close to the bed, obviously pumped into the balloon Olamide is inhaling. And maintain, if we all win a war, if we're going to win a war on hard drugs, we need to clamp down on celebrities. So that's the foundation of our conversation this morning, because that's the new trick out there. You know, it seems that many people are inflating balloons with nitrous oxide, which, according to this report, is a gas that gives you a certain kind of high, causes confusion, headache, gives you this sense of relaxation. You know, that can also be detrimental, obviously, to your health if you keep sniffing it in. So
I don't know if this is correct, but they say it's also called laughing gas. I think a lot of people know that by that name.
Right. So, I mean, this is the conversation we're having. I know that very soon we're going to be having somebody from NDLEA to give us a bit more insight into balloons. Mr. Femi Obafemi, to be joining us very soon. But before that, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this nitrous oxide. I mean, have you guys heard of balloons?
So, when this, bless you. So I saw this same message, and I've actually, we definitely have a drug pandemic in Nigeria. We have many people that are, that the conventional drugs is no longer effective, and that's the thing about our body. Human body tends to always get used to something. If you have been giving it coffee all the time, it might at some point just not give you the effect again. So we've gotten through several types of drugs. There were a time when they were using just cough syrup, and then they went into the pain relievers. We've done so many types of drugs, and now we are going into gas, and we are finding a stylish way to inhale the gas and get the feeling. Yes, I agree that without celebrities, we cannot achieve much, because celebrities make everything look glamorous, and people want to look like celebrities. So a celebrity does something that is horrible, and we copy it, and we do it. And I feel NDLEA has their job cut out for them, because you cannot penalize many of these celebrities. A lot of them don't live in Nigeria, but their market is in Nigeria. So how do we address the fact that they are not in Nigeria? Their market is in Nigeria, and they are influencing Nigeria negatively.
Let me pause you for a second. Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. All right, so we must remind ourselves that these are all allegations or speculations, because we don't know for a fact the kind of gas in those canisters. But the doctor from this tweet is alleging that those canisters are filled with nitrous oxide, and that is what we're trying to speak against, because according to many, it's the new gas young people are using, and they call it balloons. You just see them blowing balloons. You think they're just playing balloons. But no, it's actually drug abuse that they're being abused. They're abusing the drug. Let me come to you, Liz. Have you heard of this, balloons?
So I had seen a video a long time ago, and it looked like Nigerian artists, and they had balloons everywhere. Innocent to me. I thought, oh, nice party. Yeah, but then I started seeing in the comments, and people were talking about drugs. So it took me, of course, down the rabbit hole of finding out, oh, it's laughing gas, they're inhaling it. And people were saying that it's also a waste of drug abuse, because it just keeps you euphoric for about a minute or two. And so what it means that they now consume it over and over and over again. And it has, the truth is that it has serious negative impact on your health and your mental health. Eventually, they said some people can even be unconscious depending on how much of it that you take. And it's so dangerous, especially if you also take directly from the canister. So that's why maybe they're using these balloons. Yeah. I think what is more dangerous is the glamorization of the drugs by our artists, and the sort of content our artists are putting out there. Our young children are all over them. They are constantly, consuming all this content that they put out. And it's important that as a country, we need to stand up. As Nigerian adults, the reasonable ones, we need to stand against this. We need to insist that people cannot put up these are things that you even do in the privacy of your home. If you want to be mentally deranged in your own home by yourself, caused by yourself, do it in your home. Don't put it in on a public space.
Right.
So that's where also we talk about social media and how we need to regulate it so that people understand, okay, this your content is for 18 plus or whatever. But also, there are things we don't want our 18, 19-year-olds in the university to do, because that's really the age that is much more impressed by what our artists and celebrities are doing. We need, they're so impressionable, but also they want to be the cool guy, the cool girl, just like them.
He also posted and said, he just posted a picture of him and a lady both blowing the balloons and put unruly. Now, that's glamorizing negativity.
And like the question I asked, I don't know how we can, what can the government do in such a case? It does not live in Nigeria.
People now.
It doesn't live in Nigeria. It doesn't. We cannot, there's nothing we can do about it. You can't hold him accountable. He does not reside here. He only comes probably here to perform and go. He can choose not to come and perform at all, and he will still be influencing what happens here. Is there anything the government can do, like what they do in, is it that we should appeal to their sense of responsibility?
We, the people.
Like, we should appeal to the sense of responsibility of these celebrities, that you are influencing young people. While you might be able to control yourself, pay for rehab, get proper medical checkup when you're done, your followers don't have the money or live in the place where they can get rehab or get medical support, and they're copying you. So maybe be responsible for your followers that live in Nigeria, that they're using their last card to go and buy what they see you doing.
Thank you for that point, because that's a very important point. Many of these celebrities live abroad, and the audience there somewhat they make choices. They have options. Even they have a rehab that's functional. But your main followers are here in Nigeria. And these little kids are listening and watching this, and then they feel it's cool. Just like Mariam said, you see, we have to clamp down on many of these celebrities, because the truth is that it's the easiest, lowest hanging fruit is to blame government. Government did this, government did that, because that's the easiest thing to do. But forgetting that we are also responsible as individuals, as public figures, as well as politicians, and even as celebrities. Let me engage the spokesperson of NDLEA, Mr. Femi Babafemi. Is always there to support us on more information about this. Good morning, sir. Are you there? Thanks for calling.
Thank you very much. Very good morning to you.
We are so grateful to have you on the show this morning, because that video of Olamide went viral. As I said, I didn't want to categorically state indeed that it's nitrous oxide that was in the canisters, but based on the doctor who tweeted this, he's alleging that's what it was. But in your own view, tell us about these balloons. How far wide is it across the country at this point?
Well, it's something that has been in use of recently, especially for recreational purposes, and we've been monitoring that development, I can tell you. And fortunately, or coincidentally, the Dr. Shina, who tweeted about that, we had to bring him to our Twitter space, where we engaged with the young people recently to discuss the effects and the consequences of this particular gas, so that our young people will not be misled by the so-called celebrities or role models, who actually should not be anybody's role models. We indeed had a good conversation. Quite a lot of our young people across the world joined that conversation. But having said that, I'll tell you that indeed this particular gas is what a number of our celebrities are abusing at the moment, and not just abusing it, but they are also coming on the social media space to glamorize these things, to mislead their followers. And that's exactly where the NDLEA, I can tell you that as we speak, the chairman of the NDLEA, having been properly briefed about some of the developments, he's actually directed all our commands across the country to go all out and clamp down on those who are selling this illegally and those who are consuming this, notwithstanding your status, whether celebrities or no celebrities. They are going to be hearing from the agency, because we cannot fold our hands and allow these people to mislead our young people, because these have consequences on their head and on their lives.
All right. Questions?
I was going to say that we live in a permissive time right now, and parents, we have a lot of work to do with our very young ones. I think for many of us, we're still at the stage where we can control 99%, you know, so that's a lot of work to do. We cannot fold our arms, we cannot be careless, and we need to speak more to them, show them examples of how this behavior leads to, you know, bad mental health, bad future for these people. But then I know that there are parents of those who have children who are teenagers in university, and they are finding themselves and taking risks and being adventurous. That must be a tough time for them as well. So that's the part I talk about, that government will have to step in, because there's so much as a parent that you can do right now with your child who's away in another state or another country, living their lives. You just hope that in this situation, the government can come in and
all right. let me come and ask this question, Mr. Babafemi. These canisters, I mean, what are you doing? Where do they get them from? Is it at the party stores? Is it, where exactly do they buy these canisters from? And what are you doing to clamp down on whoever is bringing it into the country?
Unfortunately, at the moment, this nitrous oxide is not something that is banned. And in fact, it's part of it's one of the directives by the chairman of the agency to liaise with the Federal Ministry of Health to see how the distribution or the sale of this particular substance can be brought under control, strict control, like it's been done to opioids like codeine and tramadol. It's something that is for medical use, used by dentists and other medical practitioners for some medical procedures. It's not, but unfortunately, some of these celebrities have found a way of using it for recreational purposes, and which they are not glamorizing to mislead their followers, and most of who are young people out there. So it's something that is actually not banned, but then as it were, because they have now found a different use for it, so the agency will have to work with other stakeholders to ensure that there is a strict control on its circulation and use. Like I said, there is already a directive for all the commands of the agency to go all out for it. And any moment from now, anybody found in possession of this will have to answer for that.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Is there a way that NDLEA, working with other bodies, can stop this content from being shown, you know,
on social media? On
social media, on TV. Is there a way you can stop this content? Because what happens is these kids, they watch this, they see these things, and then they think, oh,
emulate them.
I want to be like this. This is how I should be. They don't understand. So can your agency work with people to just stop the content from being shown?
Social media.
Absolutely. What we do in a situation like this, because this is outside of the powers of the agency, what we do in situations like this is to work, like I just mentioned now, that we have to work with the Federal Ministry of Health to ensure that this is taken out of the cancer and to be brought under strict control, like as one of those controlled drugs. Then again, we also have that leverage to also work with other government agencies, MDAs, that are responsible for some of this content on the social media space, to see how they can also, bring some of these celebrities under some level of control. Especially some of these offensive and misleading posts of theirs. So definitely we have that leverage through a platform that the agency works with, called our IMC, Interministerial Committee which actually comprises of other ministries, departments, and agencies of government that are relevant to the work that we do.
I forgot myself.
Oh, okay. So one of the comments I made earlier was the fact that a lot of the celebrities live outside Nigeria. And I don't know how, I'm trying to understand how we can impose any restraint on them, being that they largely live outside the country and the countries they are living in has a lot of freedom when it comes to these things. And that's number one. Number two is a lot of this drug abusive looking videos are also being posted on the cable TVs, which are not regulated. Is there anything the NDLEA can do to partner with the Ministry of Communication, broadcast, that broadcast for NBC, so that we can sort of still create a bit of control on the videos that are on the paid platform that might also be influencing our population?
Absolutely. That's exactly what I was trying to say earlier, that if this is not within our control, it's not within our power, but then we have other ministries, departments, and agencies of government that have certain responsibilities or level of control over some of these things. Okay. Even if they cannot stop the individuals from posting some of these offensive materials, there is a way we believe that they can be restricted from appearing in our own space here in Nigeria. Yeah. Even though they may be out there, but then there are some of the, I mean, don't forget that there was a time that a social media app was taken out of reach here. So sometimes some of these things can be done by some of our stakeholders within government circle, and that's exactly where we are looking at.
Okay. I would like to know if there's something that NDLEA is doing to be is there like a fun way to attract these young people? So the NDLEA is not seen only as a punitive organization, but you try and capture the children early and capture them in a fun way.
Parenting.
Is there a way? Is there something NDLEA does? Is there a program?
Absolutely. That's the whole essence of our work against drug abuse initiative. That's an advocacy initiative that actually began on June 26, 2021 to mobilize everybody to buy in and take ownership of the war. And beyond that, we have also used that as a platform to take the campaign to the schools, working with other stakeholders like non-governmental organizations, civil society organizations, and other partners. Fortunately, we have the telecom company, MTN, that has also been part of this drive through quiz competition, essay writing in schools, just to get these young people engaged and equip them with proper information and knowledge about some of these substances so that they can be well equipped to be able to take the right decisions when they are faced with the pressure of abusing these illicit substances. That actually, I'll tell you that is going on.
Thank you very much.
Recently, I watched a documentary on one of the foreign news stations, and the documentary was on the drug fentanyl, which even in Nigeria has become very rampant.
Wow.
Why can't NDLEA work with showing this kind of footage on what it does to people? Because I think if people start to see the repercussions of the drug, I saw a video yesterday of a young boy, I'm sure he was taking one of these drugs, and he was banging his head on the pole, on the electric pole, banging his head, going. So we know for life that one, he can never be normal again. If NDLEA take it in, work with, I don't know who, but to start to show young people these videos, maybe it will discourage them.
Okay.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Maisa. I'll tell you that indeed, regarding fentanyl is something that we did issue a statement on Sunday where we did updated Nigerians about some of the things we have done in the last couple of weeks about fentanyl in Nigeria. It's something that is a dangerous drug that we cannot afford to allow circulate in Nigeria. And that's why we have dealt decisively with the cartels behind this. And just in May, we arrested 2 members of the syndicate operating at the Onitsha overhead bridge. Those people are already in custody. Again, just some days ago, we also followed up with another a very lengthy operation that started as far back as November 2022 in Warri, Delta State, where some officials of a very popular church were arrested there and dealing. In fact, these ones were already not only just dealing in that year, they were also trying to circulate to other parts of the world, to the U.S. and Australia. If you know, fentanyl in the U.S. is indeed an epidemic, and so we're working with our counterparts both in the UK and in the U.S. to ensure that we don't have these takeovers in our country.
Mr. Babafemi, let me make a bit of a suggestion, and because sometimes we need to, I always talk about the fact that we have to customize certain things. Certain things don't work in our own terrain. So, for example, we know that you cannot totally remove parenting from this issue of drug abuse because everything starts from the home. And as much as government will try to regulate in different ways, it starts from the home. So are there ways where parents can also be held accountable? If they are, we don't want you putting them into custody or arresting them because that doesn't work in this part of the world. Do you think that if a child is caught in any of these balloons, mommy and daddy are arrested and are given a bright yellow overall to sweep the bridges, to sweep the floors? And once you see that bright yellow, you know, that's the parents of one, a drug dealer, a drug user. Because when you do that, across, no matter where you are in the country, if you like go and run to Adamawa, once your BVN is registered and we know who you are, we just give you bright yellow and you're going to sweep the street. You see, when we do that, because we need some crude measures in this part of the world. Crude measures. You don't use crude measures. All these, put them in custody, arrest them, is on both things. It doesn't really work. Don't you think?
Name and shame.
Unfortunately, we don't have
the powers
that within we don't have that within the law here. But then I can tell you that in our relationship or interaction with a lot of these parents who miss the mark, they are really regretting it. They wish they could turn back the hand of time and do what they need to do, because we really need to emphasize that parents need to go back to parenting. We cannot afford to leave our responsibilities to schools, to nannies, and to other people. We have to wake up and take up our responsibility as parents. Otherwise, quite a lot of them are going through hell. I can tell you, we may not be able, but these are people that are well to do in the society, but they are going through hell. A lot of them cannot go to bed until their kids go to bed because they are afraid of being killed if they go to bed before their kids come to bed. So these are the issues and consequences quite a lot of them are going through, and that's why we believe that we're pushing the advocacy to them through the churches, through the communities, because we believe we're very religious, not only churches, through the mosque also, because we believe we're very religious people. And so when these things are made as part of sermons every Friday and every Sunday, a lot of parents will be able to wake up and get this message and wake up to their responsibility.
Go ahead, okay.
Mr. Babafemi, like I have to acknowledge that the NDLEA is making huge efforts on the bigger scale, on the larger scale of dealing with the drugs coming in. But in the advocacy, honestly, NDLEA is old school. And I hear you and I see you're making effort, but I believe that there's a generation gap in how we are approaching the drug challenges in Nigeria. He's not a Twitter or church and mosque person. These people don't even, a lot of these people that are using this drug, they don't go to church or go to mosque. I know it's a good place to start, but I feel that NDLEA needs to have a bit of a roundtable with young, I'm talking between 15 to 25, that are influential and probably have done drugs or are not doing, and then you get a true life understanding of how to get to them. That's one suggestion I would make. I think another thing is, please, is there any celebrity that is like A-ranking celebrity that is working with the NDLEA? Because you also need to capture them from that level. And if you use a not trending celebrity, it's not going to get to anybody. But if we are able to get a trending A-grade celebrity to partner with NDLEA to come against drug abuse, we might be able to achieve it. So, do you have any celebrity you're working
I also
with?
have an idea. Are there events that NDLEA can be part of? These young people like to go for parties. They like to go for all these, big events thrown by celebrities. Is there a way NDLEA can be part of these events and be in the mix of it? Those are the ideas that are coming to me, because those are the sort of things that attract the young ones. So we need to go to those places and people that attract the young people and, find NDLEA enmeshed of being part of that. Sorry.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for those suggestions. Absolutely, we do attend a number of social events where we have the platform to address some of these young people. Don't also forget that quite a number of the celebrities that you refer to, quite a number of them are not really well treated. Let me just leave it at that. But then beyond that, I also know that we're working with a number of associations in the entertainment industry, especially the Actors Guild of Nigeria. They've been very, very supportive and very, very understanding. I tell you, we are always in touch with them. They work with us and they update us on development at locations because these are places where these illicit substances are abused and other young upcoming people are influenced to start taking some of these things. And I can tell you that we've made quite a lot of progress with them. The major challenge really has over time been those in the music industry, which is an area, especially the younger generation ones. They are really not as structured as probably you have those in the Nollywood industry, where we can really relate with some the leadership of that particular sector. But then we continue to make inroads. We have a number of them that are individually working with them, but not as a group. They are not really as structured as a group that you can really relate with, like we're relating with the Actors Guild of Nigeria. But as individuals, yes, please.
You see, I get you, and I think you're making a serious effort, as Tokwe said. But a few innovations, or the ideas we're sharing on this table, in fact, you need to record it and there's some ideas that we're having for you. Because if I feel another thing that you could try to do is, if you partner, imagine there's no industry for bartenders, for example. If NDLEA, you are the one training the best bartenders in this country, where everybody goes to, they don't know if NDLEA is behind it. They find a corporate company, they find a fine, fancy name. They train them, and they are in the bars. Or even these dancers, or these bouncers, what the bouncers are, the guys that are in the club areas that are always on the road.
Yeah.
You are the one training them and creating an industry. And then you begin to infiltrate through that strategy. Because people are now seeing, because you have access to the club goers, the celebrities. Because if you go to a celebrity, people don't listen to them, they just beg. But if you do it subtly, where people, the least expected personalities, are the ones preaching your message, you'll be surprised. So, but these are just ideas. That's why you need a round table.
Yeah.
Different people to make suggestions. Because the truth is that we need to address this where the young people are.
Yes.
If we don't get to them, we won't find them.
Because we will not have a country.
Yeah.
Because everybody will be on drugs.
The way
They are the what do you call them?
future of tomorrow.
Not only the future, they are the larger population. There's
Yes.
60%
Yeah.
and if all of them are on drugs, what's the future of Nigeria?
That's it. Let me let you have the final words, Mr. Babafem, because we have to wrap up on this. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much.
You pay for all these ideas,
Well, don't forget that it's about all of us. It's not about the NDLEA
Yes.
or Namarwa or anybody. It's a collective thing, and that's exactly what we're preaching, a whole society approach. I mean, a situation where all of us in our own sphere of influence, we can do something rather than shifting responsibilities, whether as parents, as teachers, as community leaders, as religious leaders. We all have spheres of influence. What you are doing this morning by making this the point of conversation is part of it. Somebody is hearing something, a parent is being reawakened somewhere. So all of these is exactly what we're pushing for everybody to do, play their own little role, no matter how insignificant you think it looks like. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for
very
the
much,
opportunity.
Baba Femi. Thank you so much.